In 1986, LJN was the holder of the Voltron toy license after both Matchbox and Panache Place had lost the license for different reasons. During this time, LJN produced a motorized, plastic version of Voltron very similar to the die-cast Matchbox version sold in 1985. LJN also produced small rubber Voltron assemblers of both the Lion Force and the vehicle team. And today, it's going to be a double toy retrospective as we take a look at both of the Voltron assemblers, here on KREED'S Collection. Hey, welcome back to another episode of KREED'S Collection. Today we're checking out the Voltron assemblers from LJN's Voltron toy line from 1986. So usually I talk a bit about the history and backstory of the character here, but I already went into that in my Matchbox Lion Force and Vehicle Team retrospectives. So instead, we're going to jump right in and I'm going to talk about how LJN got the Voltron license. The original license holder was Matchbox, and their die-cast sets were so popular that they outsourced production to Taiwan to keep up. Sadly, the Taiwan-made Voltrons were all recalled due to lead paint. Don't worry, I checked mine. It's pre-Taiwan. When this happened, Matchbox lost the license, and Panache Place got it. Panache Place made a new Lion set along with figures, but sadly went out of business in 1985. So in 1986, Voltron landed, a bit late, with LJN. And now that we know a bit more about the troubled history of the Voltron toy license, let's go ahead and take a closer look. Starting with the Voltron Lion Force assembler. It's no secret that the Voltron Lion Force is the most popular version of Voltron by far, and it's my favorite version too. If you'd like to know more about the individual lions and their pilots, please check out my Matchbox Voltron Lion Force video. As we established in the intro, these sets are made completely out of rubber, and they look pretty good. The molds for all the lions are spot on, and even though there's very limited paint application, it looks great. And visually speaking, the limited paint is the only thing holding this toy back. However, the paint is very easy to chip off on these, so I see why they kept it to a minimum. However, the chest plate and belt look amazing. The head sculpt is perfect, even though it's blue for some reason. The great sculpt work continues into the arms. These joints don't bend, but they look good. Overall, I really like how this looks. You can even see the 2 right there. And on the other side, you can see the number 3 on the green lion. Oddly, they did not put the number 4 and 5 on the blue and yellow lion, but this still looks fantastic. The legs folded up look great. The head is an amazing sculpt. They did a really good job on all of these pieces. Now we're going to take a look at the accessories included with Voltron. He has his blazing sword, which looks really good. I love how the tip of this looks, really nice. Now on the other side here, it is flat. However, there is still detailing on the blade, which is nice. And on the end here, you have the handle, which is kind of small, but it does its job. Putting it in the mouth of the red lion isn't easy because it's rubber, but it doesn't take much to stay in place. In addition to the blazing sword, Voltron also has a spinning razor blade. He used to throw it at his enemies on the show, and a lot of people for some reason call this a shield, but it is a spinning razor blade, I promise you. On the back side, there is a peg very similar to the handle of the sword, and you just peg it right into the green lion's mouth, just like that. Again, it doesn't go in very far, but it doesn't take much to get a good hold. Before we move on to the Vehicle Team Voltron, I just wanted to show the assembler disassembled and then ask this question. Why is the black lion in 3 pieces? I imagine it was to up the piece count, but seeing the black lion broken up like that is really off-putting. Alright, now we're going to move on to the Lion Force assembler's articulation. The joints for the legs are rounded, so you can actually turn them out like so and give him kind of a relaxed stance. In addition to this, the arms can also go up and down, and technically could flip around full 360 if you wanted them to. The head, being a separate piece, can turn left and right. And believe it or not, the wings also on the back here, they can be moved down if you want, although I'm really not sure why you would fold them down. The only thing I can come up with is that since it's an assembler, the whole idea is to form Voltron, and flipping up the wings is definitely part of that. And that's it. That covers all the points of articulation on the Voltron Lion Force assembler. Next up, we have the Vehicle Team Voltron Assembler. I want to take this moment to discuss the fact that these toys are supposed to be produced in 1986 according to every online resource I found. However, the copyright dates say 1984 on the box, and I could swear I got this toy for Christmas 1985. And I suppose I could be wrong, but this is the one time where I question the date that I found on all my online resources. Anyway, with that out of the way, this is once again a fantastic sculpt that really, short of paint application, looks exactly like Voltron. Whatever year I got him, I definitely remember getting him for Christmas and getting him in my Christmas stocking. Just like the Lion Force, the head and face sculpt are fantastic, as well as the torso and the arms. All the detailing here looks really great. The only thing missing is the wheels that should be on his hands and arms. They did not forget about the wheels on his feet, however, or the treads on the back of his legs. I'll tell you, that's some high quality rubber tires right there holding all that weight up. And here's Vehicle Team Voltron in all their separate pieces. Here's why you probably wouldn't play with this separately much. See the giant nub on the top of the car there? Obviously that's not supposed to be there and it doesn't really look right. Also, the main head chip, there's no way to conceal the face when it's in spaceship mode. So even though these are fun to take apart and put back together, they'll spend the bulk of their time in Voltron mode. And if you want to know a little bit more about the individual ships and pilots, please check out my Voltron Vehicle Team retrospective. Now we're going to take a look at Vehicle Team Voltron's included blazing sword. Because it's rubber, it's super flexible, and it is quite a bit different than the Lion Force blazing sword with the cross here on the hilt. I really like the look of the blade on this one. It's definitely way more of a traditional looking sword. And down here on the handle, there's some nice texturing. And just like the Lion Force Voltron, it's kind of difficult to get in the hand, but it doesn't take much to hang on to it. Now we're going to take a look at the Vehicle Team's articulation. So the legs and waist down don't move at all, but the arms can lift up and technically go around full 360 if you wanted them to. The head can move left and right, and the helicopter blades right here are a separate piece, so they can actually spin in place, which is a nice touch. And that's it. That covers all the points of articulation for the Vehicle Team Voltron Assembler. To reinforce my confusion on when these toys were produced, there are no dates on either one of them. They simply have the World Entertainment Productions and LJN Toys copyrights on the backs of both of the figures. And now for our He-Man size comparison. He-Man was feeling pretty self-conscious when I compared him to the die-cast versions of Voltron. But now, he's feeling pretty good about himself, being directly between the height of both the assemblers. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my toy retrospective for the Voltron Assemblers from the 1986 LJN Voltron toy line. I really enjoy doing toys like this every once in a while and keeping it different. You can't always do an action figure or a playset. Sometimes you have to do a weird eraser rubber looking thing like these guys. I have to say though, they were probably a very affordable price point and they're extremely durable. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a thumbs up. And if you have any thoughts, please leave a comment. I love reading and responding to them. And while you're at it, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it and it would help my channel grow. I do a retrospective on a toy from my vintage collection every Wednesday. So I hope to see you next week and every week after, here on KREED'S Collection.